Welcome to the Juggling the Chaos of Recovery podcast wellness spot, where we focus on health and wellness and how you can reclaim your health and life today. You're in the right place if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you've been helping so many others. It's time to help yourself. In a time when health and wellness can be so confusing, I'll share my knowledge as a nurse and 20 years in wellness and help you navigate through. You will hear stories of people who have used the Shaklee products, including me, as they have truly been a game changer for health. And I'm here to tell you that it's never too late to pay attention to your health and how making a smart plan with natural choices can help you live your best life today. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Moira Gorski, and I am so glad that you are here. I just got back from vacation that I was on last week, and I always do a lot of thinking when I'm on vacation. It's a time to slow down and relax and do lots of fun things with my family and myself. And I came up with some things that I really wanted to share with you about just the value of a vacation. And, so many people, I was looking at some statistics yesterday, and even now, again, this whole pandemic and work from home has changed things a little bit with travel and vacation and things like that. But traditionally, so many people who can take vacation and take paid time off, they don't. They don't take advantage of all of the time off that they do. I mean, we are a work society, right? And some people just don't. They don't give themselves permission to take a vacation, or they don't plan it, or whatever the case is. But there's so much value in vacation, be it that it's, going to a Caribbean island and things like that, or just driving a couple of hours like we do. At least this time of year, we drive up to Michigan and we rent the same house that we've been renting for the last probably close to 20, off and on for the last 20 years. This will probably be our last time renting it because we don't need all the room. It's a beautiful, lovely home, and it's really served us well over the years. And it almost feels like our home because we go there all the time. And, it doesn't change except if it gets upgraded and things like that. But it just feels like our home is so comfortable and things like that. And, when I was sitting up there, like I said, I came up with a list of like 10 things that I think vacations are really important for. I mean, the first one is that we slow down. I mean, unless you plan a super busy vacation, you're kind of forced to slow down. I mean, you go away from your job, be it that you work from home or go into an office. And even though with my job, my business, I can work from anywhere, and I did do some work up there, it does force you to slow down because you get away from where you're at, which is, your normal routine and things like that. So it really does force you to slow down. And I know that this time it kind of took me a couple of days to really feel like I had slowed down enough that I could really relax. But for sure, it forces you to slow down, and that's important because we do need to give ourselves some time to rest. And number two, it gives you time to be with you. And again, even though I was with my husband and one of my children and his girlfriend, I had certainly time with myself. I went for walks in the morning. There were times that I was the only one home because they, had gone to do other things, golfing, going for a walk, taking the dogs and things like that. But it's time for me. I get time to spend with me. And I was thinking about it too, even in this whole kind of struggle world and recovery world and personal growth world. It also, I encourage you when you do go on vacation or you do spend time with yourself is to give yourself permission to be happy. Even though, again, you're away and you're with yourself, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're happy. But again, I really thought about that as I went for walks and spent time with myself and just give myself permission to be happy and like shut out all the worries from, what the things that I need to do when I get back home and things like that. But just making sure that I gave myself permission to be happy with the vacation and the time away with me. And number 3 is time with family. I mean, family, we don't choose, well, some people would differ, but, say things differently, but we don't choose our family. I mean, we have our family, right? And it's so important because at the end of the day, our family is our family. And it's just, I know we have led busy lives here with kids going places and my husband working and myself with a business and a podcast. We get busy. And so it's really important to spend that time with your family. And you do have that on vacation, be it that you're, again, hanging out at the house that you rent, going for golf, spending time on the beach, going out to restaurants, going for walks, exploring different things. It's really so wonderful and nice and really necessary to spend that time with your family. And as I'm seeing, my house is getting emptier because my kids have grown up, they're growing up, and they're leaving home. And this was our vacation was a time for us to spend, it's kind of a request of our youngest, who's 18, who next month will be heading off to the Air Force. And in August of 2021, he'll be heading off to the Air Force. And he said, I want to make sure I have the summer and a chance to go to Michigan. And going to Michigan means spending time with family. And it just was really, we were able to get the house, and we were just so happy that we could spend that time together, because before you know it, he's going to be gone to boot camp and then tech school, and we won't see him that much. And so we really cherished that time that we were together. And number 4, I think it's really important and really cool on vacation to spend time in nature. Now, we go to Michigan, we go to the Saugatuck, Douglas, Fenville area. We do stay in a house that's down Tranquility Lane, and it's beautiful in the woods. And we spend a lot of time, just out in nature. And it's really wonderful to do that, at least, again, if you're doing a vacation like this, like going to the beach, or just at least to spend, some time someplace that's different than your home, right? It could be, doesn't have to necessarily be in the woods or things like that, but it's someplace different than your home. And I think that there's just so much value in spending time in nature. I am a barefoot, on the grass, on the sand, in the water type of person. And I just love nature. I love how it calms me down. I love to sit in the quiet of nature and listen to the birds and see the wildlife. And this year we saw more deer than we ever have. I don't know why that is, but there were deer every single day that we went out. There was a few deers that we kind of ran into as we were driving down the lane, or we were driving to town, or I was going for a bike ride. I went for a couple of bike rides, and I saw deer just sitting on the side, standing on the side of the road, eating and crossing the road and things like that. It's just, nature has so much to teach us, and so much that we can learn from nature. It's just so cool to see different wildlife. Again, just spend time in nature, and just, like I said, it really calms me down, and I love it. And this was interesting, as, again, our son's girlfriend was up with us, and she had never been to this. She'd never been up here, but it's really dark there. There aren't any street lights, and there isn't, any of that ambient light or whatever there, from like, stores and things like that. It is dark. So she said she slept so well because she slept in this one bedroom that gets so dark. So just that appreciation of being in nature. And they said that they were out, I think they'd take the dogs out right before we went to bed, and they said, we heard some creaking and cracking and stuff in the woods. I'm like, yeah, there's probably the deer walking around out there. So that's just really cool. Number 5 is sleep. It's just good to get caught up on sleep. When you go on vacation, at least, again, unless you have a really busy schedule or you've got to get up and go someplace, it gives you a chance to just not set the alarm and to just get some sleep. And I find that on vacation, I may wake up and go, oh, look at it, 6 o'clock when I normally get up. And then I just turn over and get some more sleep. And it's just nice to have that no schedule to get up for. I mean, that's what we do in Michigan in the morning. The mornings are pretty slow. People get up at their leisure, unless, again, they're going to go play golf. Or I did get up one morning. I did set an alarm because I wanted to go to a yoga class. There's a really wonderful yoga studio where we vacation. And so I wanted to make sure I caught that class. So I did set an alarm and I got up. But it's just a slower pace, right? You don't have to jump up and get, like this morning I worked out at 6:30 at the health club. There isn't any getting up and doing that kind of stuff on vacation. Gives you a chance to sleep, really rest your body. Number 6 is connect with others. It's nice to go to a different town, I think. I mean, I'm a very social person, if you haven't gotten that already. But just connecting with other people, other homeowners, if they're, by where you're at, or other business owners, talking with them in the little boutiques and stores. Sometimes we talk to people on the beach and where are you from as we're going, walking down the beach, or we're just sitting and just connecting with others. It's just I just find it fascinating. I am a connector and I love connecting with new people. And again, it just gives you, I think it gives you the appreciation of who we are in this world, of how we're connected and things like that. It's just wonderful to connect with others. And I also, the place that we go to, I have a couple of friends that work in the same wellness business that I work in with Shaklee. And I've called on them in years past when I've needed products, like there's something really cool for skin if you get sunburn, called Calming Complex. And so I've called some of my friends up there and saying, I forgot that. One of my kids got sunburned. Do you have any of that? Or somebody wasn't feeling so well. So I called upon them and said, hey, can I get some vitamin C or Defend and Resist or something like that? But I make it a point that when I go up there that I give them a buzz. And at least, in this last year, one of them, we got together for coffee. And we talked for like 3 hours. Talked and walked for like 3 hours. It was just really great to connect. It's at a slower pace. We didn't have I got to get going to my next appointment. It was a really great time to connect with her. And that's really what we can do. It's wonderful to do that on vacation. Number 7, eat good food. I find that when we go on vacation up to Michigan, I don't often cook. Now, I did cook a couple of nights for dinner because of the schedule. The boys were golfing late, and it just made sense. I'm like, I'll just throw some stuff on the grill. And we had picked some things up at a farmer's market, like some corn and some fruit, and so it gave us a chance to cook that. But a lot of times, I don't cook. Or sometimes my husband will cook. And so it kind of gives me the time off, which I really, really appreciate. I mean, I love to cook at home and I always make a meal just about every night, but I really love that. I really love that time off, and it gives us a chance to go get some good food and, patronize the restaurants in town that we really like. And it's just, again, a nice time to take that time off and take a break. Number 8 is, many times throughout the years, we have invited friends up. Again, we have this large home that we've rented, and sometimes we've invited friends up for just a couple of days. And it's been great. It's been, again, it seems like it's our house. We wish it was our house, but we were like, hey, we have lots of bedrooms. Why don't you come up and spend a couple of days here? And it's been a nice time to be able to invite friends up there, or in other cases, we've invited friends up to the area and they find their own house. And so and in this particular case, this year, there was another couple that used to live in Illinois, but they live in Wisconsin and have for the last many years. And so they come over and they get their own house or their own condo, and we meet on the beach. We go out to dinner together. The guys golf together. So it's really a nice time to invite some friends that might not be able to get away for very long, but they can just come up for a couple of days. Or again, some friends to come up and enjoy the area with us. That's been really, really neat over the years. And I think that's, again, depending on where you vacation, that's something that you can do. I mean, certainly my dream is to own a lake home of our own someday, and have it be that it's big enough so that our family can come and stay there. But then sometimes I can say, hey, ladies, why don't you come up for the weekend and spend some time up with me? Maybe we'll do a little retreat or things like that. I really would love to do retreats some year at my own home. So that's a really nice thing to do when you're on vacation. Number 9 is see the possibility of what living in another place would be, or just change it up. Or like if you were thinking about retiring, again, many times, and I speak for myself, we get busy and we just kind of stay in the same place. And we don't think about like, what if something was different? What if we could live someplace else? We've lived in this house for 21 years and we're thinking about in the next few years selling it. That's a big undertaking. And I'm like, where are we going to go? But when you go on vacation, it gives you a chance to, I said that we go to Michigan all the time, but we're now talking about maybe next year going someplace different and starting to look at some different areas, because it gives us a chance. Like we, again, would love to buy a house in Southwest Michigan so that we can have that as part of our retirement. But there's lots of other places in the United States to visit that are beautiful and that would give us a chance when we vacation. It gives us a chance to look again, like at other places and what it's like to live someplace else. If it's a city or a smaller town or more rural or more busy or something like that. Again, in the rat race and busyness of life, sometimes we just don't see that of what things could be like someplace else. We also had dinner with another couple who actually, we did own a townhouse in this town many years ago before we started running this house, and they helped us buy it and they helped us sell it when we sold it. And so we did get together with them, and it was really neat to talk to them and kind of get their perspective, get their, they told us about what it's like to live in that Saugatuck Douglas area in a really cool, vacation area. They're in real estate still. So they shared some of their experiences living there, and that was really neat to catch up with them. And so just then the last thing too is number 10, what I have come to love is journaling. When you go on, I took a brand new journal, blank pages, up to Michigan with me this year. And I'm so glad that I had it because, that's become part of my morning routine, that I do journal as I meditate and read and then do some journaling in the morning. It's so important. But I wanted to make sure that even though, again, my schedule changes a little bit when I go on vacation, I know that there's so many things that run through my head, and journaling really helps me get my thoughts out on paper. And so I encourage you, wherever you go, wherever you travel, is to take a journal. I journaled a little bit in the morning, and then I also took it to the beach because I had some things that I was thinking about that I wanted to write. So a couple of days I was journaling on the beach in amongst being in the water and reading my book and visiting with some friends and things like that. But I think it's I know it's so important to journal. And I'm really excited very soon to be sharing with you my own Journey to Joy journal that I have created. I can't wait to share it with you. It's really, really close to being able to for you to get your own copy. I'm really excited about the project that I've been working on. And again, the importance of journaling and getting our thoughts down. There's so many times that so many thoughts have just run through my head. And even like what I just listed through, off on those 10 things, those are lots of things to think about. And it's really cool to be able to write that down. My husband he's journaled. He doesn't write a lot, but he does write something almost every day. And he can go back years, if we talk about, we went to this concert and I said, no, I don't think we did. Or what restaurant did we go? Or when was this? What did we do this Thanksgiving? He can go back to those journals and find that little entry that he put in there. And it's so important to document. It's really cool to be able to document your life that way. And what I find also really helpful for me is just to help process through the things that I'm thinking and make sure that I'm putting it down. As I write it down, it gets out of my head, and sometimes it just really helps me understand what I'm thinking and stuff like that. So those are my thoughts on vacations. I think, again, it's so important to be able to take a break and get away, be it a week, a month. I know somebody that went to, Spain? I think she went to Spain for like 3 months, 2 or 3 months. She had kids. little kids growing up, and she just needed a break. And she went and traveled a long ways without them for a couple of months. But just that the idea of vacation is so, so important. And I hope you got some value with these 10 things that I, talked about. Slowing down, spending time with yourself, your family, spending time in nature, getting some extra sleep, connecting with other people, eating some good food, inviting some friends to be with you, really seeing the possibilities and journaling it all down in a journal. So those are my thoughts for today. Again, I hope that this summer you've been able to take some time for vacation. And if you're listening to this and you haven't taken some time off, I encourage you to really plan that because you deserve it. It's really important to you. It's important to your family. It's important to your friends too. So I really encourage you to do that. Then I encourage you to take the time to give yourself permission to be happy in our struggles in life. And sometimes, again, if you're sitting in a space of having somebody in your life who's struggling with an addiction or an eating disorder, many times we've heard it said, right, that we're only as happy as our least happiest child. And I get that. It's hard sometimes to be 100% happy or give yourself permission to be 100% happy when somebody isn't happy in your life. And it's hard. I understand that. And it's really important because there's only so much we can do. It's their choice. It's their decisions that they're making. And it is their illness. And we didn't, right? What is it? We didn't cause it. We can't control it and we can't cure it. So those 3 C's are so important. And it's important to remember to give yourself some time to enjoy yourself, enjoy some vacation, enjoy some time off, and know that you're going to be an example for others, even that person in your life that's struggling, to show them that it's important to take care of yourself and you're taking time for yourself. That's really super important and super cool. So thanks for listening today. Please have a great rest of your summer. Thank you again for listening. I have some wonderful guests booked to be speaking with the next few weeks, and so I can't wait to share them with you as well. If you have a story to share, if you want to connect with me, please do not hesitate to do that. You will find that in the show notes, how you can book some time on my calendar. If you want to support this podcast, supporting this podcast means writing a 5-star review, sharing it with your friends. You can buy me a cup of coffee. There's a link there that buys me a cup of coffee, a virtual cup of coffee, and that helps to support a little bit financially. You can buy a few cups of coffee too. I want to continue to share the words of hope and wellness and the fact that we all deserve to live a great life. And that means taking care of ourselves and giving ourselves permission to be happy and really putting ourselves first and leading with love. So thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for listening. If you like this podcast, head over to iTunes and leave me a 5-star review. Share it with others and make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. I've got a tribe over on Facebook, so head over there and search for Juggling the Chaos of Recovery Podcast Tribe. And do you know somebody who has a story to share, a story of recovery and hope? Please let me know, as I'd love to feature them as a guest on one of these next upcoming podcasts. And perhaps you're looking for a community of like-minded, collaborative, and supportive people who cheer each other on as we strive to improve our lives. If that sounds like something you've been looking for, schedule some time with me. You'll find the links in the show notes. Let's talk, and let me help you find your way. And I'm here to tell you that you're worth it.